Titanfall 2 is easily the best first-person shooter I have ever played, and honestly that may never change. Shooters have been my favourite gaming genre for years, and I've played quite a few, yet Titanfall still manages to stand out above the rest. But why is that? What does Titanfall do that makes it so much better than all these other games? Well, I believe it comes down to 5 main things. Throughout this video, I'll discuss each of these points one at a time, comparing Titanfall 2 with some of the other biggest shooting games out there that I've played, and explaining how I think they combine together to make Titanfall one of the best shooters on the market. Side note, I will only be discussing Titanfall 2 during this video, so if I ever refer to it as Titanfall, I mean the second one. Anyways, let's begin with the first point, the movement. As you probably already know, Titanfall 2 is made by Respawn, the same developers as Apex Legends. Now imagine Apex's movement, which is honestly pretty darn good in my opinion, and increase it tenfold. I mean, Apex already sports techniques such as slide jumping and V-hopping, which allow for some decent speed, as well as just having generally fluid movements, but Titanfall is simply on a whole nother level. Double jumping, wall running, and a Pathfinder grapple are not one but 2 charges. I mean, it is just insane. Now obviously this crazy movement and high octane gameplay isn't everyone's cup of tea, especially if you enjoy slower tactical shooters like Counter-Strike or Valorant, and I get it. However, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on this one, because I think the mobility is an absolute blast, if nothing else, at least from a casual standpoint. I mean, just look at this. Alright, so the movement is great, but what else makes Titanfall 2 such an outstanding game? Well, I don't think we can even talk about shooters without discussing the gunplay. I know this may seem a bit arbitrary, but in my opinion, the feel of the gunplay in shooters is crucial. I mean, it's one of the biggest reasons why a game like Valorant just isn't for me. Of course, this will be subjective, but I believe that Titanfall has some solid feeling gunplay, and that it combines with the movement to create some outstanding core gameplay. Let's compare Titanfall to a game like Fortnite, where the cartoony style has a big impact on the feel of the guns. Now, despite it changing every other season, the overall gunplay in Fortnite is quite basic. All the weapons and combat systems are highly simplified, and as a result don't feel particularly special. Fortnite is known for its building and accessibility, as well as the battle pass, not the shooting itself, and so the easier to get a hang of combat helps it to reach a wider audience. It has its purpose, sure, but that doesn't stop it from feeling a little lackluster once you get used to other shooters such as Apex. Titanfall 2 is kind of on the other side of the spectrum. I mean, it isn't quite as easy to pick up, although that partly comes down to how quick the enemies can move, yet once you do get the hang of it, it's a great experience. In terms of the gunplay, it's overall pretty good, with weapons which feel satisfying to aim and shoot. It could be better, with, for example, some of the full auto weapons feeling a little too similar, which I believe is improved upon in Apex. But overall, Titanfall's gunplay is still at least above average in my opinion. Now let's get on to my third point, the wide variety of options available when it comes to customizing your gear, allowing everyone to create themselves a unique experience. Firstly, in Titanfall you get not 2 but 3 weapons at your disposal at any time. One of 21 primaries, one of 3 pistols, and one of 4 anti-Titan weapons. To be fair, some may count this as only 2, as anti-Titan weapons only exist to fight, well, Titans, but I disagree. Anyways, each of these can be equipped with 2 mods of your choice, and although that may be less than some other games like COD, that's only where the customization begins. After you've chosen your loadout, perhaps rocking a classic R101 or maybe a more unique Cold War, you can get to the abilities. Unlike a game like Apex or Overwatch, however, Titanfall allows you to mix and match as you please. Maybe you want to grapple into the sky and then hover there while you ADS, or maybe you'd rather go escape with a mini Mirage ult whilst going invisible. The game allows you to choose 1 primary ability, 2 passives, any grenade, and a sort of ultimate, which you get once you reach a certain amount of charge towards your Titan. On top of all that, you have the Titans themselves, which I'll discuss more later. All you need to know for now is that each of these also has 2 customizable buffs to shape them into the right Titan for you. Now this customization is nice and all, as it allows for a more diverse experience, but it doesn't make the game good by itself. I simply wanted to bring it up as a part of the greater puzzle which makes the game so spectacular. Well, you should now be up to date on most of the core gameplay features which I believe to make Titanfall stand toe to toe with many popular multiplayer shooters. However, Titanfall also has something which many such games lack nowadays. That's right, it also has a campaign, and a good one at that. Of course, a single player story doesn't exactly make or break a multiplayer shooter, but it's still a very nice addition which manages to set it apart in the modern industry. Not that I'm saying that no new shooters have one, but it seems to be becoming less and less prevalent. During this campaign, we as soldier Jack Cooper are suddenly forced to become a pilot during the vicious frontier war between the militia and the Interstellar Manufacturing Corporation, IMC for short. This means that we suddenly receive control over a Titan called BT, who by the way is an absolute legend, and go through a series of missions trying to take down the IMC and finally end the war. This campaign is enjoyable, sporting a decent story and some cool mechanics. It isn't anything mind-blowing, but it definitely has its moments, and is another aspect which makes the game so good. However, single-player stories aren't for everyone, and I get that. That's why I still have 1 point left. And let's be real, we can't even talk about Titanfall without discussing the Titans. These 20-foot tall decimating machines are the lifeblood of this game, and the combination of pilot and Titan gameplay is what makes it so unique. Once you get enough kills and accumulate enough charges as a pilot, you can hop into one of Ion, Scorch, Legion, Tone, Ronin, Northstar or Monarch, each with their own unique set of weapons and abilities. Every Titan feels like it has its purpose, and they can all contribute to combat in their own devastating way. However, it seems that people are unable to agree upon whether or not they are a good part of the game. On one hand, Titan combat is insanely fun, but then again, getting one shot by a giant mech as a tiny little human isn't the most enjoyable thing in the world. Personally though, I love the Titans and believe that they contribute to making Titanfall 2 one of the best shooters of all time. But hey, even if you don't agree with me, there are modes available without the Titans, so you can enjoy the game whether or not controlling a deadly war robot is on your daily agenda. So now I've told you a little about Titanfall 2, and even though none of these factors alone might be enough to make it a good game, I believe that they combine to create an absolute masterpiece. If you agree, why not drop a like on the video as it really helps me out, and if not, or if you still want to learn more, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. I'll see you next time.